Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful presentation. And you discussed in a very detail, not only about the energy projects, but you also talked about the geopolitics and also the corridor that is designed by the Western countries, and what were the gaps between our energy before CPEC, and you discussed in a very detail. So thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. Now we will be taking question answer session later on. But before that, we have to move towards our panel discussion. And for that, I would like to invite Syed Shamsul Hassan. I hope Syed Shamsul Hassan is with us so that he can continue further.
Thank you, Musafir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Musafir Youth Diplomacy Forum. A very thorough and intellectually rich presentation delivered by Mr. Muhammad Shiraz. I really, and this is since the second, we are having a second round of this youth diplomacy lectures and talks. And I really congratulate the Youth Diplomacy Forum on this successful venture and continuity, which we did last year, and now it's the second time we are coming up with such a intellectual speakers and listening to them and learning from them about China-Pakistan relationships, CPEC, Belt and Road Initiative, and topics of topics that really needs to be talked about. And one reason is that our youth needs to know about what is happening, what are we up to when it comes to government-to-government relationships with China, and what are the benefits that we would be we are reaping, what are the challenges, some of them like in this presentation, which was talked about by the speaker, like the debt trap, environmental cost, and things like that. So our youth needs to be aware of such challenges, such topics. When it comes to China, there is a lot of criticism which we face. So if our youth is aware of all those perspectives, they would be able to bring a counter narrative. They'll be able to talk intelligently. China, I mean, why China? Our youth must know when we talk about strategic partnership with China, because China is not only our next door neighbor, but we share a history which doesn't start from 47 or 49. It dates back to ancient Silk Road, when the Yellow River civilization and Indus Valley civilization, they were integrated together, and there were trade relationships, religious relationships, and economic relationships were very strong with Indus River civilization and Yellow River civilization, which we now call it China. So what were those what was that kind of integration? Now we call it BRI, Belt and Road Initiative. So that is basically the revival of ancient Silk Road, and that is the reason that China also prioritized its relationship with Pakistan. Secondly, when we talk of Belt and Road Initiative, it's not only that for us, for Pakistan or for Asia it is important. Like the speaker talked about, if Asia is to be the heart of development, growth, and it has the Pakistan has and CPEC especially has got the important role, a jugular vein, said by speaker. So uh, not only Asia, not only Asian countries, but now European countries, African countries, they're trying to reach out to China. And Belt and Road Initiative, that is one classic example of how many countries are now joining, partnering with China. There are more than 140, 150 countries. There were several initiatives by Western countries, but they were mostly alliances. When China says Belt and Road Initiative, that means they are talking about partnerships. They're not talking about military alliances. They're mostly talking about partnerships. And even uh, last month, this month, 2 weeks before, in APEC meeting at San Francisco, President Xi Jinping mentioned about it, and it said that it's not only for the 140 countries that are part of the Belt and Road Initiative, it's also open to United States of America. Come and join with us and have win-win cooperation, and you also get whatever you want to get from the Belt and Road Initiative. Partner with us, and we will have a mutual prosperity and shared future. So that is what China talked about. So Africa, Europe, they're all reaching out to China for this Belt and Road Initiative. So I think some of the topics, which are some of the uh, points which I would like to highlight when it comes to CPEC. Actually, China is coming up with their might in infrastructure development projects. They have got the technology, they have got the workforce, manpower, and technical skills. So it's up to us that what do we want from them. When we were kind of signing those projects with China, when it was initiated in 2015, like the Belt and Road Initiative of China and CPEC. So we told them that what are our problems. As the speaker mentioned, that there was we were going through a very difficult situation when it came to the energy projects. We were having electricity shortages. So we told them that come, we have this problem, and you can address this problem for us. Then we shifted to some of the projects which were, like the speaker mentioned, was related to fossil fuels, coal power projects, and they come up for the solution. They came to us and we signed the agreements with them. So one can say that those agreements were not very intelligently signed, but we didn't had much option. Like one of the company, when one of the slide it was mentioned, the the wind power project, which was signed with the hydropower Dawood group. Hydro China Dawood wind farm. So I interviewed one of the manager from their company last week, and I asked him intriguing questions, and he said that we initially wanted to go went to sign this project with Germany, but they were not willing to come to us because there were no guarantees that if the project in this country would survive. Because and after 2008, if people remember, so there was a lot of instability, political instability, and the country was going through huge, turmoil. So there was no surety, and they were not willing to invest in Pakistan. Then they went to some other countries, and they were all the situation was the same. But when they went to China, they said, okay, we would invest, and the model which they finalized with them, that particular country, which produced later on 50 megawatts, and it was like 30% investment from them and 70% investment from China. So they made something out of it, and now the company is about to repay their debt, and in next 10 years all the operations would be run by them, and they have already transmitted that energy and produced that energy, and they are now supplying it into the national grid. So when I'm saying, I mean that China is asking countries, okay, what is your problem? We have got the expertise. We would give you investment or loans. You tell us what is your problem. We came to them and we said, okay, this is our biggest problem. So now there are a lot of criticism coming from Western quarters, some of them, that yes, CPEC is a debt trap, and then we have environmental issues. Yes, we may have, but that was our condition at that time, and we had little option. We had no option. Like now, people are also criticizing the environmental issues. Yes, they are, but uh, every country, when it goes from it has to start from somewhere, and that is like organic growth. The same process, through the same process, West has gone through the same process, and China as well has gone through the same process. Now today China is the factory of the world, but it was not the same 20 to 30 years before. So every country has to go through this organic process, and it has to start from somewhere. So we had that coal with us. So we said, okay, we can go with these kind of projects and converted it to something, some energy for our people. So yes, there will be criticism, but we have to. China and Pakistan, yes, they are aware of it, and they are a partner in the Paris Accord of the Agreement, which the speaker mentioned. So the coming projects are likely that there would be no coal power projects. But again, having said, we have our problems, and countries have to understand, West have to understand that we had no other option. West was not willing to invest. Western companies were not willing to invest in Pakistan. So we had to start from somewhere. Having said that, yes, we are signatory of so many environmental accords. But then another point, that when it comes to environmental degradation, we cannot only blame the coal power plants, because there are several other factors, like the one mentioned by the speaker, deforestation. Like a lot of deforestation we know is happening because of those societies that are taking place, the residential societies everywhere taking place. Yes, space has to be created for the connectivity, for the rails, for the roads. But then again, another point could be the cross-border environmental pollution. Like we are neighboring with India, we are neighboring with China. So even if we control it in Pakistan, what about the cross-border pollution that is coming from the other side of the border? So there are several other reasons, and we have to look at them holistically in the broader perspective. I think I've talked about it. I think now I would involve our other speakers. If